Hello, Westmore Central. Matt Ferreri, Director of School Counseling here. And today I am with Sarah Fixdale, Mid-Atlantic Recruitment Coordinator at Arizona State University. Sarah, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Did I pronounce your last name correctly? I should have asked that before we started.
Fixed. Yeah.
Fixdale. All right. Thank
It's a
you.
tricky one.
Well, my apologies.
No worries.
Hey, why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about yourself, your role with the university, and give us some things to know about the Arizona State.
Yeah. So my name's Sarah. I have worked in the world of higher education for almost 8 years now. And this will be my third year at Arizona State University. So I am what they call a regional admission rep. So I live in the general territory I work with. Me being on the East Coast, my territory is large. So I'm actually based in Florida currently. I live in St. Petersburg, Florida, which is on the Gulf side. But I cover pretty much everywhere from New Jersey south. So I've got a big chunk of states. We get a lot of students from the New Jersey area. It's actually my most popular state in my territory. So I travel up there a couple times a year in the fall and the spring to meet with prospective students and their families.
Okay, great. Yeah, New Jersey, I think we're still the largest exporter of students in the country. So I'm not necessarily surprised.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about Arizona State. You know, what's the campus like there? What should students know? What's the surrounding area like?
Yeah, so we are located in the Phoenix metro area. We are one of the largest universities in the country. We have about 72,000 undergraduate students studying in person. So if you're looking for a really big state school experience, we are definitely going to be a good fit for that. Last year, our incoming class was, I think, a little over 14,000. So we had a lot of first-year Sun Devils joining us in the Phoenix area last August. So we have 4 campuses in Phoenix, and what you study will dictate the campus that you are placed at. So we have the Tempe campus, which is the largest of the 4. This is generally what people think of when they think of ASU. There's about 50,000 students there. It's where our Division I athletics are held, Greek life. A majority of the degree programs are at Tempe. We also have a campus in downtown Phoenix, which is just right smack downtown. It's a very metropolitan environment. That is where our journalism students study, anything in health sciences, and then criminal justice as well. So those programs that make sense to be in a downtown area of a huge city, those students will be at the downtown campus. Then we have 2 smaller campuses kind of on the east and west side respectively with about 5,000 students, so a lot smaller. One of them is called the Polytechnic campus. This is where a lot of our more technical hands-on majors are. Think engineering, think professional flight and aviation. And then the 4th campus is the West campus. That is a bit more interdisciplinary, more focused on the liberal arts and sciences. So I don't want us to think of these as satellite campuses. It is very much a part of the ASU system, but we intentionally place students in a location that makes sense for their academics. So it is spread out a little bit within Phoenix.
No, yeah, thank you for clarifying, because that was going to be one of my questions. But so how far would you say would it be to get from one campus to another?
So from downtown to Tempe, about 15 minutes, depending on traffic. From Tempe to West, probably about 30, and then from Tempe to Polytechnic, about 25. All the campuses are connected by a free shuttle system that runs about every 15 minutes. So even if you are a student at the downtown campus, you have access to anything and everything at any location. So you can still take a class at the Polytechnic campus or join a sorority at Tempe. You're still very much a part of that ASU system, and everything is open for you as a student, no matter where you're placed.
Great. Yeah. And so for those students, if I'm an engineering major at the Polytechnic campus, but I still want that Division I football field, Division I basketball, hop on a shuttle, get there and take part in everything.
Yeah, yep. And there are some majors as well, like engineering is also offered at Tempe. So there are some programs where you have multiple campus choices. So that's where you as a student can kind of tailor what you want out of your college experience. Like if you want the big state school resources, but a small campus environment, you can kind of have the best of both worlds there, which I think is a really great option for students who might want small class sizes, smaller, quiet campus community, but still having really incredible state-of-the-art resources and research opportunities.
Great. So tell us a little bit more about the campus, the culture there. Are there any like fun traditions, unique to Arizona State that people might be interested to learn about?
Yeah, so we are, like I said, a huge state school. So everything you would expect a state school to have, we definitely have. Over 1,000 student clubs and organizations, really incredible athletics. All home games are free for students to attend, regardless of the sport, which is really great. So we have some really fun traditions just surrounding like football season with tailgating and our Territorial Cup, which is our rival game between us and University of Arizona. So there's some fun traditions packed in there. I think one of my favorite traditions at ASU is the painting of a mountain. So on the Tempe campus, we have a big mountain and there's a giant A at the top. And every year, the first year students will hike up a mountain together, paint the A white to kind of signify a new fresh start to the school year. But it's like a fun bonding experience for first year students before classes start as well.
That's interesting. You mentioned your rival school, University of Arizona. I spoke to the New Jersey rep maybe 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
So I'll get you guys a chance to get after each other. And they paint mountains too, so it must be something in Arizona with painting rocks. But that's
I guess, yeah.
That's good. All right, so look, large school, right? 70,000 plus students, like you said, 14,000 in the freshman class last year, 4 different campuses. If you had to guess, or what would be the most popular major? What is Arizona State known for from an academic standpoint?
Yeah, so we are a tier 1 research university. So we have really great offerings for research in all of our programs, but STEM in particular is very popular at ASU. We have really great School of Engineering, really great School of Business. Our criminal justice program and our journalism program are very highly ranked. So for journalism, sports broadcasting, mass communication, those students would be at that downtown Phoenix campus. So that is a very strong program. But really anything in liberal arts and sciences as well, from your biology to your chemistry to psychology. I always say the biggest program we don't have at ASU is marine biology, but that's just because of our location, so it makes sense. But we have over 300 majors, so there is a lot to choose from. But really, engineering, business, we have really great teachers college as well. Really great school of design and the arts. So definitely a lot to choose from.
Great. Now, in your role here as recruitment coordinator, Mid-Atlantic States, you probably get this question a lot, right? Public state university, going to be more expensive for people coming out of state than students in the state of Arizona. Talk to us about actual price, sticker price versus actual price, and how can it be an affordable option for students coming from New Jersey?
Yeah, so total cost of attendance for non-resident students typically fluctuates around $50,000 each year. That is for this upcoming year. Prices every year are subject to change a little bit, but that would include room and board, tuition, but then estimated expenses as well, toiletries, transportation, all of that. So we review all non-resident students automatically for a merit scholarship. These are called our New American University Awards, and we have different tiers of this scholarship. So it's an automatic review process. The review happens after the student is admitted. So that information does not come in the admission letter. That's important to remember. If you get your acceptance letter, you don't see a scholarship, don't panic, it's coming later. But those typically range from about $7,000 to $15,000 a year. They are 4-year renewable awards. So the student would continue to get that scholarship every year as long as they're meeting the eligibility criteria. That scholarship can be stacked with any federal aid and any additional scholarships the student is either applying for or bringing in externally.
Great. So you had mentioned the merit award will not be within the letter of acceptance. So let's talk about Are you a rolling admission school? Are you early action? How does it work there?
We are rolling.
Okay.
So our ASU applications opens every year in July. So we are super early. And then Common App typically tends to roll out around early to mid-August. So we accept the ASU application and the Common application. We are rolling, so we don't have hard deadlines throughout the year. Our priority date is in January. But if you apply around this time of year, it's going to be a 2 to 6 week turnaround time. I have found in the past couple of weeks, students who are meeting our admission criteria are getting that decision in 7 days. So it can be super, super quick, depending on a few things. Like if you're self-reporting your courses and grades, that can kind of expedite the process. So depending on a few things, but about 2 to 6 weeks to hear back.
Wow. And after you get the acceptance, typically how long to find out about merit aid?
So we just started the review process about a week ago. So depending on when you apply, if you applied in July, you'll be waiting until mid-October. But if you're applying around this time, that scholarship information typically will come like 2 weeks after.
Okay. You had mentioned admission criteria. Yeah. Talk to us about that. What are you guys looking for?
Yeah, so similar to when you talk to University of Arizona, we follow the same criteria essentially. So we have a process called assured admission, where if you're meeting our criteria, you're guaranteed to be admitted into the university. So there's two big things that we look for. One we call course competency requirements. These are just the courses that the student has taken in high school. So a lot of times they'll mirror graduation requirements. If not, they're very similar. So your English, your math, your lab science, art, foreign language. So there's 16 of those courses. And that includes senior year. So on the application, you can self-report your senior year courses that you expect to take. It doesn't have to be perfect. We know things change. So senior year courses will count towards that. The other big thing that we look at is called an aptitude requirement. This would be a GPA, a test score, or a class rank. So we just need one of those things, either a 3.0 unweighted GPA in those 16 courses that we look at for admission, and 1180 on the SAT or 24 on the ACT, or graduating in the top 25% of the graduating class. So we just need one of those. We are test optional. So if you have that 3.0, great, you're in. If you're below a 3.0 but have a 1200 on the SAT, that's another way to gain admission.
So just to confirm, I have a 2.7, but I hit a 1200 on the SAT. I send my app in, I'm guaranteed admission.
Yes, as long as you've completed those and passed those other 16
those
courses.
Competency requirements, right? Mm-hmm. Good. All right, great. It's good to know. So really, you want to see students that are challenging themselves, that are doing well, met those benchmarks for you. So no essays required?
Correct. No essays, no letters of rec, no extracurriculars. I should also say that this is for general admission to the university and for most of our degree programs. There will be a select number of programs like nursing that will have higher requirements, but this will at least allow us to get you into ASU. And then if you're not meeting those other higher requirements for a particular major, we can find a major that is similar that doesn't have higher criteria.
All right, great. So, let's talk about, we've applied, now we're in, we're on campus. Take us through, freshmen, right? 72,000 students, 14,000 freshmen. I might get overwhelmed. Mm-hmm. What type of orientation do you have to get these kids ready to go?
Yeah. So from the time you are admitted, so hopefully you will have contacted me equivalent or myself if you're in New Jersey. You'll also then, once you're admitted, have your academic advisor's contact information. So you have that kind of virtual support. We also have a Slack channel. It's called Devil to Devil, which is just for prospective students. So students will create channels on where they're from, what they're studying, what they're interested in, different kind of subgroups to start to connect virtually with students, which is really great. When you come on campus, you'll move in about mid-August. And then the days leading up to the start of classes is called Welcome Week. So this is a week for first year students to move into campus, move into their residence halls, get settled, meet people, find their bearings without the stress of classes yet. So there's some sessions that you'll go to like with your academic college, but there's also a lot of fun sessions. We have our welcome speaker where there's some sort of big concert called Inferno Fest. We have a lot of mixers and movie nights and, you name it. So it's a really fun week leading up to the start of classes. Hopefully you're meeting a lot of people. You're starting to join clubs and activities. There's a club fair that week as well. And you can kind of get your bearings before that first day.
Inferno Fest sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right. So now we've talked about freshman year. We talked about, we go through our classes. I'm about to graduate. I got to imagine with the amount of students you have, the alumni network is large, right? Vast. And I would think supportive. Can you talk to us a little bit about the alumni network, career services at the college, and what should we know about that?
Yes, huge alumni network. I think that just comes with having a huge student body that will be all over the country and all over the world even. So that is great. It definitely does help with our employer connections for our students after graduating. About 89% of our graduates are either fully employed or have started businesses within 6 months after graduation. So it's a really great rate for students jumping into the workforce or starting their own businesses. We have a great career services at the university, and we also have a career fair and graduate school fair twice a year, once in the fall, once in the spring, where our top companies like Google, Amazon, Boeing are coming to campus to recruit students for internship opportunities or for employment opportunities post-graduation.
All right. Sarah, look, really appreciate you giving us the time today. You told us a lot about the culture there, the different programs, the campuses, what to do once we're there, what to do when we're graduating. Is there anything else that you want to share about the Arizona State University that you haven't had a chance to share with us today?
I think one of my favorite things about ASU is that, so for the past 8 years now, we've been ranked #1 in the US for innovation, which can kind of sound like a buzzword. But for me, how I interpret it is that we are constantly innovating in a lot of different ways at our university, from creating new programs to building new campus structures, to kind of rethinking what it means to be a college student in the year of 2022. So while we've been around for well over 100 years, we're not a university that's stuck in our ways from when we first started. So we're constantly rethinking, what does the current world need in terms of graduates? What new majors can we create that are relevant to what is kind of coming up and changing with technology and just the world that we're in today? So it's very adaptive, it's very innovative, which I have grown quite fond of in my past 3 years of working for them.
No, listen, it's critical to have that adaptability as a student. If you want to have that adaptability when you're done with college, your college should be leading the way. So glad to hear that you guys are doing that. Listen, Sarah, again, really appreciate you taking the time. You've given us a lot about Arizona State, and hopefully our students will be in touch with you in the near future.
Perfect. Sounds great.
All right. Take care.
Thanks.